for listening. This is the Monolith Films podcast. No, I'm just joking. Anyways, they're coming back. We had another little break for you guys also. Next movie we went to go see was New Life by Josh Rossman.
Yes, not necessarily in order.
Not in order, no.
But the next movie we're going to talk about is New Life.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
New Life is actually the last movie we watched.
Feature length, 85 minutes.
Yeah.
2023. This is world premiere.
Yeah, and it was not preceded by a short film.
No, yeah, this was the only movie that wasn't preceded by a short film. I wonder, was that a choice, or is that just because they didn't have that many short films?
No idea.
That might be the choice.
Yeah,
because I'm sure there was a crazy influx of.
This was the biggest line.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw this movie apart from The Abandoned, which we saw at the Hall Auditorium, which was the biggest venue we went to.
Yeah.
At this festival. New Life was shown at the library venue, which was smaller, but this was the biggest line we saw.
Where we also watched Pandemonium.
Yeah, and the other movie. And this was definitely the biggest one, the biggest turnout we saw for a film at the library.
Yeah.
At the library.
At the library.
Before last day of the festival.
Yeah,
unfortunately, we didn't get to watch anything on the last day. Personally, I felt like there wasn't that. There was nothing piqued my interest.
There was Old Boy.
That was the biggest turnout. Surprisingly, was just a remaster of Old Boy.
4K remaster of Old Boy.
Yeah. Saw it on the airplane.
I mean, I've seen Old Boy a couple times.
I love Old Boy, but I was working, so
I just don't. I mean, I don't know what the whole hype is with remasters, but I don't see the point.
But you like Old Boy, right?
I love it. It's kind of fucking great movie.
Okay.
Fucking great movie. But
I
remastering.
got me worried there for a second.
I like Old Boy until the end, I think. Until they're in the guy's apartment.
Listen, we're talking about fucking Old Boy today, okay, Dink?
I didn't see this movie though.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying. What Old Boy came out in 2006?
Something like that.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that old. Does it really need a 4K remaster?
No.
Anyways, we didn't go see it. So this was the last day of our festival going experience. The before last day of the festival.
By last day, we mean like the day before the day that it ends, the festival.
Yes. So we saw New Life.
Yes.
American movie.
By Josh Rossman.
The Fantasia Press did it on purpose not to spoil too much about the movie because the movie has quite a large twist. So the movie is pitched as a cat and mouse chase movie about this young woman who's on the run from
some special forces.
It's not a government agency. They're not cops. They're not FBI. Nothing like that. It's this private, kind of like a PI agency, but with an insane amount of resources because they have like a dedicated surveillance team and they can have access to CCTV, cam footage, and public records, and yada yada yada. Anyways, so it's a super high-tech private agency that is hired to track this woman, and you don't find out why until much later. What primary thoughts? What do you have to say, Dante?
Well, it's a zombie flick.
Oh, okay, you're just gonna spoil the twist right away.
Well, it's not really a twist. You kind of know it's a zombie flick.
Really? I didn't see it coming.
I mean, what do you mean you didn't see it coming?
Until it was shown that it was a zombie. I didn't see it coming.
No, when the boyfriend starts getting a rash and then all this other stuff.
Yeah, but that happens halfway through the movie.
I mean, I don't know why I saw it coming, but I just felt like it was a zombie movie.
Okay, well, good. I mean, good for you. I had no idea.
I mean, it's not that. You see, here's the thing. I didn't think it was that crazy of a twist.
I did. I really, really, genuinely had no idea why she was on the run. I had no idea what the hell was going on. I assumed it was just, the whatever. I didn't know what I was thinking. I wasn't thinking much of it.
No, I kind of figured it was going to be a zombie movie. So the movie starts out with this girl, they're camping, she's camping with her boyfriend, and they find this dog. And the dog's like an important character in the movie, even though I don't see him as much as I wanted him to. And there's a whole campaign with the dog before the movie was premiered.
Yeah, so a marketing
thing.
So on the day of the premiere, they had put up all these lost dog posters in Montreal
Yeah.
with a number to call if you spot the dog.
Okay.
And if you call the number,
Mm-hmm.
it would give you some random pre-automated message that didn't mention the movie or Fantasia or anything at all.
Yeah.
But then the crew had also dumped a bunch of dog collars around Montreal.
Like buried them in Montreal.
Okay.
So if you found the dog collar
Mm-hmm.
and called the number,
Yeah.
then you would find out that it's a marketing scheme for the movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's
That
a
was
bit
pretty cool. I like that a lot.
No.
it is. The director said that too.
Yeah.
The director he mentioned that they're like, he didn't explicitly say they fucked up, but he mentioned that maybe their plan wasn't as well thought out because you really had to be one of 5 people
Yeah.
to find the caller and call the number.
Did they say how many people did it? Was it like?
Well, they only dumped 5 callers.
No one did. No one
Or
did.
5.
0. Yeah.
So
no
like,
one did.
so on the off chance that someone found the caller and also had the agency to call the number on the lost dog ad.
Yeah.
So the marketing scheme really fell through.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think if it would have just been the lost dog poster, even that though, because no one's gonna call the number on the lost dog poster unless you see the. What they should have done instead of dumping dog collars,
Mm-hmm.
this is gonna be expensive. They should have rented a dozen of those dogs that look the same,
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And call the number.
and then letting them loose is a little dangerous, but maybe like. Have people walk them? Even then,
Yeah.
you see someone walking a dog, you're not going to think it's a
Yeah.
the whole lost dog thing.
I thought the posters were sufficient.
Maybe if the posters were designed, because there was no mention of Fantasia, there's no mention of a movie on the poster. They only added the Fantasia tag after they figured out
Yeah.
that the posters weren't working.
But that's awesome.
But anyway,
Yeah.
so the plot of this movie is that they find this dog camping and they kind of cuddle around with this dog. And then the girl's fine, but the boyfriend starts getting like a rash. And he's like, oh, what the fuck is this? Then, so basically the whole movie's about this girl that's on the run. And there's this agency that's looking for her. And neither does the main character of the agency or the girl know why. The girl thinks she's on the run for murder.
Mm-hmm.
But the agency, knows, she's not on the run for murder.
So at this point, I think it's important to note that she thinks she's on the run for murder because I don't know, the fucking CDC, is that what they're called?
It's a pharmaceutical company.
No, the CDC, the American...
Center for Disease Control.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So some CDC-like entity, kidnaps this woman and her fiance because they've been in contact with their lap dog, who is carrying this disease.
Yeah.
And then this woman escapes, but in the process of her escaping, she kills someone from the CDC.
Yeah, she kills one of the motherfuckers that's trying to hold her down.
Yeah. So in her mind, she's on the run for murder. She doesn't know that she's contagious or that she's carrying this virus. Yada yada yada. So in her mind, she's on the run for murder, and then this agency that only the director of the agency knows the full story hires this agent to track her down. The agent doesn't know what's going on. She just knows she's tracking this person. Yada yada yada. Throughout the film, this woman who is chasing the main character gradually finds out what's going on, while the audience also finds out.
Yeah, and the agent is played by I forgot her name, but she also plays Penelope in Lost.
Oh really?
Penny, yeah, she plays in Lost. Yeah,
I didn't recognize any of the actors in this film.
that's the only one I recognized. And basically, she ends up she's following this girl, right? She's tracking her down. They're doing all their CIA cool gadget stuff to track her down, and it's going pretty good. And the girl ends up coming to this farmhouse for help, and the farm people help her out. But then the next day, when the agent shows up to the farmhouse, because she figured out that got to the farmhouse, the two farmers are zombies basically. She's looking for them. There's blood on the sink, and she's like, "Oh, what the fuck's going on?"
But not like Night of the Living Dead zombies.
No.
More like Resident Evil.
Like Resident Evil 4 zombies,
like boils and sores and
hysteria. And they're fast and strong.
Yeah.
And she's wearing a hazmat suit to enter the building.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because she was prefaced she was told to wear a hazmat suit, but she didn't know why. But she went in wearing a hazmat suit, And like the two zombie farmers attack her, and she just calls her directly like, "Yo, what the fuck is going on? You gotta tell me what's going on, and stop keeping me in the blind because like this is fucked up, you know." And basically the director's like, "Yeah, she's carrying like some form of Ebola virus, you know, or whatever." And she's like, and this is like the twist, you know. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, now I get why we were in the dark. Pharmaceutical company, blah blah blah, Umbrella Corp kind of shit." I thought the twist was pretty underwhelming, but it was a twist, you know. I was like, I kind of figured that like it'd be some zombie shit, you know. Mm-hmm. So and then the director explains to her that like, oh, this girl is like doesn't have any symptoms, so we gotta find her to save the world, kind of thing, you know, and not spread, but she's spreading it. This is the problem. She's spreading it, and she's asymptomatic. So we gotta find her so she stops spreading it, and so that we can like use her to like fix the motherfuckers, you know. Anyways,
my number one issue with the film is that if you're gonna make a film in 2023, they started it in 2021. I think the director said. If you're gonna make a film that is so obviously influenced by the Corona pandemic and COVID-19, first of all, why the fuck would you make it Ebola? Just say COVID. Yeah. Just make it, you know, it's obviously...
Or a zombie virus, an unknown T virus.
You know? Yeah, whatever. Make something up. Mm-hmm. But don't pick Ebola. You're not fooling anyone. Yeah. It's obviously a metaphor for COVID.
Yeah.
Either say COVID or make something up.
Yeah.
That I felt right away. I was like, oh, okay. Whatever, dog.
This movie isn't really tickling my fancy.
Listen, it was actually a pretty decent movie. We're gonna get to that.
It was good.
It was a good movie.
It was good.
But basically, so they find this all out. She's asymptomatic, and this agent's trying to find her. The whole time, this agent's kind of like battling with like MS, like the beginnings of MS. So she's kind of like fumbling around.
ALS.
And she has to walk with a cane, and she can't shoot her shots right, you know.
So
but she's like the best in the biz, though.
Yeah.
She's like the Leon S. Kennedy of this motherfucking shit, you know.
But the shtick is that she was selected by the agency because of her disease, because she has ALS. They figured someone with
disposable
such a disease is disposable.
Oh, okay.
So they would be more willing to do what it takes to bring in this person who's carrying the virus, because if they got this virus, they would obviously die. But because they had ALS, they were going to die anyways and have a miserable life. So whatever.
Yeah. So what happens is that they end up still chasing her, going around. She goes around. She infects a couple more motherfuckers, and the agent kind of finally catches up with her. Sees her on a corner of a street. Like, I have contact with. I can see her right now. Like, coincidence. Starts talking to her, chasing her a little bit, but the girl's like running away from her. And then, you know, they do more things. She infects like one other person that she was like living with in this small town. Then the agent kind of finally catches up with her, and it kind of is seen that the girl is starting to show symptoms of becoming a zombie now.
Yeah, she starts developing sores and boils.
Sores. She's losing hair. You know.
This is like an hour into the movie.
This is at the end of the movie.
This is the very end.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the very end, she starts developing symptoms.
Okay.
Yeah. And the agent catches up with her and says, like, we need to help you, blah, 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 just come with us. And the girl's like, I just want to see the world, so she's running to, like, the Rockies or something, you know?
Yeah, there's this weird subplot with the main character where all of a sudden...
Her ambitions,
because she's on the run, she decides that it's her life mission to see the world and explore.
Okay. Yeah, but really she's like escaping to Canada.
But then, I mean, the first thing I thought of was that there's this theory. And I say theory because the word theory is kind of misjudged in the public eye, but a theory is something that has substantial evidence. You don't call something a theory unless it has evidence for it. Anyways, there's this theory that bacteria in your body affects your neurological system. And even a virus can affect your neurological. So the first thing I thought of when she was like, oh, I have this ambition to explore the world. To me, that was...
the bacteria wanting to spread.
Right, this virus or this bacteria, or Ebola, this strand of Ebola affecting her neurology to make her want to explore the world, to make the disease.
That would have been good if they really, added a couple things to it.
And that's where I thought it was going, and it never went there, and I was like, oh, maybe I'm thinking about this too much. Anyways, go on.
Yeah. So they're in, like, this field. The agent finally gets to her. The agent's talking to her, like, trying to console her, saying, we need your help, blah, 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 we need to, do this, but she never, And then the girl's like, no, I'm going to run away, I want to see your world. And then the agent murks her.
Okay.
Officer.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she's like, come with me or I'm gonna fucking kill you. I don't miss when I shoot.
Yeah.
Which we know she does because she has ALS. Maybe she didn't back in her prime years, but whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she caps her in the heel and the knee, somewhere in the leg.
Yeah.
So this girl's limping away, and then this other girl's also limping towards her because her ALS is developing throughout the film. And she's like, bro, stop her, I'm gonna fucking kill you. And the girl doesn't stop, so eventually she just domes her.
Yeah. Then the movie ends with the agent is talking to over the course of the movie, the agent has been in contact with other ALS victims. Well, not victims, that's the wrong word.
Sufferers.
Just
Sufferer.
even that, so just people affected with ALS.
People affected with ALS, that's the proper term.
And it's not even people, it's just, there's this one carer who his job presumably is to
take care of someone with ALS.
He's a counselor or some sort of therapeutic whatever, and he takes care of people with ALS, and she's in contact with him.
And kind of talks about their expectations and what they should expect with life and how to improve their quality of life going forward, stuff like that. So at the end of the movie ends off is that she's having a meeting with this ALS counselor, and second meeting, but in-person meeting this time.
First meeting they have is over Zoom.
Yeah.
And he's with another person, another
severely disabled ALS
person who has ALS.
Sufferer.
And he's like, and they mention in the movie, he's like, hey, I know you contacted me to talk to me, but you probably want to talk to her more than you want to talk to me.
And you can feel she's like, oh. It's like talking to her dad she hasn't seen in 20 years or something.
Yeah, right? It's tough, because to her, it's her seeing her future.
Yeah. Anyway, so the end of the movie is that they're in this meeting, and he starts coughing.
Okay.
And then it cuts.
Fuck.
Yeah, that was a pretty good ending.
No, it fucking wasn't. I thought it was fucking so...
Well, I liked it because it showed that the main character agent is also asymptomatic.
Okay.
Like the original girl.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say cured the ALS. So, sounds fun.
Anyways, no, it was actually pretty good.
Okay.
It was a good movie. Like, it was a fun, good movie watch.
It was okay.
It was
very well made.
It was very well made.
It looked Hollywood.
It looked Hollywood.
For sure.
It was very well made.
For sure.
Decently written.
Yeah.
It's more the plot points and kind of the decisions that I didn't like very much. Like, I'm like, my biggest problem with movies, like, writing wise, it's like, dude, you're gonna abduct the girl, right, in the beginning? The CDC thing?
Yeah.
So just be nice to her. Just tell her the truth, like, hey, you have this disease carrying it. And just be nice to her, but they kept her in, like, the cell, and, like, they were, like, mistreating her, and they were, like, throwing slop on the floors or food.
That's what made no sense.
Okay.
Is that these people who are presumably a government agency or a government lab or some sort of...
pharmaceutical corporation, umbrella corporation.
Any company that's doing research in Ebola that has a substantial amount of funding, enough funding to kidnap people and get away with it.
Yeah.
And instead of just saying straight up, hey, you guys have been infected by an escaped lab dog, and we need to contain you so that the rest of the population of the world doesn't become infected.
Yeah.
Instead of doing that, they
just gaslight them and just don't keep them in the dark from everything.
They lock this bitch up in a legit prison cell and feed her prison food and treat her like garbage.
So obviously she's gonna kill a motherfucker and try to escape. Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
You know, and even when the agent was tracking her down and came into contact with her, like the first time she actually came into contact in person with her when they shot her at like the dep, and she's like, "Oh my god, I have contact with this person." She doesn't fucking tell her. Like, just tell her. Like I'm sure if she was like, if it's gonna save the world, and you told her, I'm sure she would comply and get in the car with you.
Yeah, there's a few instances throughout the movie where someone had the opportunity to say, "Hey, please wait. This is what's actually going on."
Yeah.
You're not here for murder.
Yeah.
We're not here for murder.
Yeah.
We need you to save the world. Like, they could have just said that shit.
That never happened.
But it never happens. And it's so... Every time I watch something like a video game or a movie that's like that, it's so fucking annoying. It's the most annoying thing ever.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like... It's like the whole plot would have been... Like, they had to do it so that they could extend the plot. the movie. Because like if they said at the beginning, they'd be like, oh, okay, I'll show this on yeah, okay. It's like boom, movie's over.
Even the fact that they kidnapped her, like I get it, it's top secret.
Yeah.
Kidnapping is fine.
Sure, but the second you have her,
Yeah.
explain it to her.
Give her a nice meal.
Which is, you have to give her like confidential information. Be like, hey, we know this looks bad. You just have to trust us. You're not in trouble. Just stay in here. Like we're trying to protect you. Like,
Yeah, not like that.
we'll explain it after. Like they don't say anything. But the guy that's like tries to captive her.
Yeah, it's
Like practically almost beats her up. And that's when she kills him because she tries beating her up.
Okay.
You mind if I go through my notes?
No.
I took notes during this movie.
Yes.
So for the other movies, I took notes post haste, but I took notes during this movie.
Yeah. Okay, I just want to add one thing.
Yes, go for it.
My favorite part of the movie
Okay.
was when they would cut to like the text on the computer,
Yeah.
full frame.
Yeah.
Like it was very well done.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go on.
I'll comment on that first. I'm not a programmer of any sorts, but I am curious to see if the code they were showing
Yeah.
is at all relevant to the movie they're making.
Probably not.
Right? That's I'm thinking they just found B-roll
Yeah.
of some random.
But it was well done. It was like sometimes when you would cut to like full frame of like a computer screen.
Okay.
Not like the computer screen, but it was like screen capping a computer
Yeah.
screen.
Yeah.
And it was them typing notes like of the ongoing investigation.
Okay.
And it was very good. That was like great.
Okay.
So my first note is that the
Oh,
title.
also like well, no, I'm joking.
My first note is that the title card was nice.
Yes.
The title card was really cool. The movie's called New Life. It fades, and then the IF of life is the last thing that fades away. So the movie starts you with the thought of if.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty corny though.
Pretty corny,
Oh, I like it.
but in the context of the movie, I thought it was cute.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then I started making these hash marks. I'll show you guys. I told Nick. Did I tell you?
Show the camera. Show
So yeah, you can zoom in on it, Nick. I started making these hash marks, and then eventually I forgot what I was counting.
Are you serious?
Just straight up, I made a hash mark, and I was like, wait a minute,
Wait, is
what am I
that
counting?
You didn't like write down what you were counting?
No, and I only made like maybe 2 dozen. And like I don't know,
That's awesome.
I don't know what I was counting.
That's so funny.
I don't think I was shocked because the start of the movie is pretty fast paced. It's
Yeah.
pretty cut up. So I don't know. I have no idea.
That's funny.
So right, that's just funny. Anyways, the movie was very sad. It had a very sad tone. I found a few times throughout the movie, I was like, "Wow, this is pretty fucking depressing."
Mm-hmm.
Until the end. The end kind of has an upbeat conclusion. But most of my notes, I think, are about the whole ALS subplot.
Mm-hmm.
So the director mentioned afterwards that the ALS subplot came afterwards. So he had written the script. And while writing the script, him and his producer, co-director, I don't know whoever he works closely with, they had been making a series of documentaries. For them as a proof of concept in terms of camera work and filmography and cinematography to prove to themselves and the studios that they can make a movie. And one of the documentaries they made was about ALS, and they had spoken to a lot of ALS people with ALS.
Sufferers.
And eventually, you know, he kind of kept in contact with these people with ALS, and he started working this ALS story into the movie he was making. And I felt like that was bad.
Okay.
I think he did a bad job at working this ALS story into this what is genuinely straight up zombie.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really care for it that much. Like, I think
Me neither.
if the ALS actually impacted the main character's performance severely, it would have done the trick. Like, let's say at the last second when she's about to murk the girl on the run,
Yeah.
and she misses her shot because of ALS, and then approaches her and then fucks up because of her ALS, and then she gets bitten,
Yeah.
and then she gets infected, and then fucks it all because of Ray Ellis, that would have been a lot better.
So my main problem, that really turns sour for me in the third act. Because in the third act there's a scene where it's either a voiceover monologue or she's speaking to
Waxing philosophical.
She's speaking to the person who's carrying this infectious zombie disease. And the movie all of a sudden to me turned into a straight up motivational speech about life with ALS.
Yeah.
And I was like, to me that was so forced and so out of left field. Like, you cannot. I get it. You know, you're making a zombie movie. You're making a documentary about ALS at the same time. Those two ideas will mix in your brain. But to compare ALS to a fictitious, highly contagious, world-ending zombie apocalypse, to me is insane.
I mean, the whole thing sounds just too cheesy.
The third act to me was incredibly cheesy.
Yeah,
and it ended on such like a fucking motivational speech of a movie. It left such a sour taste in my mouth that the whole movie ended on a poor note.
Well, I thought it was a decent movie.
Yes, I mean, it was really just the third act to me that was bad. Because in the first act, the cat and mouse chase, you don't know what's going on, fantastic. High tension, you know, you're invested. Second act, holy fuck, it's a zombie movie. This is awesome. Gore, blood.
The gore was superb in this movie.
Great practical effects.
Great practical effects. The gore was amazing.
Nice, thick, dark blood. Not like Tarantino fucking ketchup squirting out. Just like a fucking good amount.
Good, accurate, fucking a lot of gore. Like, it was
sick. Maybe not accurate. Maybe a little over the top, but good.
It was good. It was very satisfactory gore.
Yeah. And then the third act is like, you know, live your hope. Yeah. And
then the guy coughs, and you're like, oh,
there's a few hints here and there about this overarching theme of the freedom of reinvention, of defining your life on your own terms.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's good. But I feel like when you box that theme too heavily into a specific condition, then you just turn your movie into a PSA ad.
I mean, it sounds like this movie could be called fucking like New Life or something.
Well, yeah, right. So that was my biggest. Now, in terms of what I really liked, there's this. Actually, let me finish with what I don't like. There's this one scene. She puts her engagement ring on the wrong hand. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
There's a shot. I don't know if they filmed it on like a lens that mirrors things, or like a front-facing phone camera or some shit. But like, she puts her engagement ring on her right hand, and then the next scene is on her left hand. And like, I noticed it straight.
0 out of 10.
Literally right away, the second she put that ring on, I was like, hold up, that's her right hand. I was like, maybe it's because her fiance's dead, and she's not engaged anymore, but she wants to keep the ring, that's cool.
Okay.
And then for the rest of the movie, it's on her left hand. And I was like, come on.
That's error.
How the fuck do you miss that?
Yeah, really.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
for sure there's like 15 quality control checks in the movie.
Yeah.
Also, I think her fiance played in Dexter.
One of my notes is everyone in this movie looks familiar. I can't place anybody in the movie.
Yeah.
And even the main actress, she's like a straight up soap opera act. She was in like Times of Your Life, Times of My Life, whatever that.
Yeah.
She was in a bunch of like the classic modern soap operas.
Okay.
She's a soaps actor, and she just auditioned for this, and they loved her, and good for her for making her first feature. Genuinely, for her first feature, fantastic. She was a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the acting very good. Good for her. That's the last thing I think that I didn't like. And now I'll go into what I did like. I did like the themes and the symbols. This theme of reinventing your life was cool. It was well thought out. It was good.
Except at the end.
It was kind of overshadowed with this ALS, very heavy ALS motivational shtick in the third act. And then there was this consistent theme of horses as a symbol of freedom, which is very typical of an American movie.
Yeah, Barbie.
There's some in Oregon too.
But it was like, oh yeah, okay, cool. You've at least thought of the script enough to include a symbol. You know, I was happy to see that.
Yeah.
And then the one thing that really stood out to me, which we found out later during the Q&A was an accident, was the fucking cowbell.
Oh man, the cowbell.
When the main actor finds refuge in this person's farm for the first time, and they end up helping her out, and then inevitably they end up infected. Yeah. Before that, they have this one cow on the farm. Well, that's a cowbell because this cow had just calved. And we found out later during the Q&A with the director that that's actually true.
Okay.
Initially, they wanted to remove the cowbell from the cow.
Yeah.
But because the cow had just calved, the farmer who owned that land kept saying, like, don't fucking go near that cow, dude.
Oh, yeah.
The cowbell's there for a fucking reason. You can't touch that.
Mm-hmm.
But they ended up working it into the film so fucking well.
Yeah.
When this agent who's chasing the main character comes to the farm, she's in the house, deep in the background, you hear this cowbell. Go, you know, there's a cow somewhere, you don't think about it. She goes outside, the cowbell starts getting louder. She approaches the barn where these two zombies are, you don't know they're there yet, but that's where the zombies are. The cowbell starts getting rhythmic. It starts getting steady. Then all of a sudden, it becomes like the fucking toll, the bell toll of death.
Yeah, it might be one of the best things.
Literally, it starts playing into the soundtrack. This toll, this bell, fucking rhythmic, just droning on as she encounters these zombies, and she has this great act.
Cool.
That scene, straight up, so fucking cool.
The scene where she shows up to that farmland is probably the best.
That whole sequence, front to back, so sick.
It's crisp.
The sound, the inclusion of the bell, so fucking cool.
Here's a question for you guys. For like filmmaking on the fly like that, what do you think was the better incorporation of like outside circumstance, like the snow in the last movie?
Oh, the cowbell for sure.
Cowbell's way better.
For sure.
The cowbell.
It was done like a fucking genius.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the toll of the dead. It's straight up the bell of doom. Like it resonates.
We see the cowbell twice. We see it when the original girl shows up to the farmland, like the infected girl.
Yeah.
And then and that's when the cowbell is talked about. And then when the agent shows up, the cowbell's not really talked about, but you see it and you hear it, and then you remember, oh, the cowbell, because it was a big deal. And no, the cowbell was amazing. It was fucking good.
And it works so well because, like you said, first of all, that first scene where the main character comes to the farm foreshadows.
They established the cowbell.
And then the cowbell tolls, and it becomes this like.
And it's subtle too. It's like you might miss it.
But next thing you know, that bell is the main driver of the action music of this big scene.
The tension of it.
Yeah, and to me it resonated heavily with the theme of the movie, A New Life. You know, reinventing yourself, and the bell of the cow is because she just birthed a new life, but it's also the bell of death. It's ringing the bell of death.
Yeah.
So to me, that if that one sequence would have been a short film, it would have been fucking sick. And it sucks that it's in the context of this film that was kind of overshadowed with this kind of second thought theme that kind of ended up taking too much place.
It's the ALS you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. And like, no disrespect to the ALS community, and like, it's a
shout out to the ALS community.
It's a
all you Malaysian ALSers.
Malaysian ALS.
I can imagine how devastating it must be for someone. But and I do think generally the crew of this film tried to do justice to them, and I don't think they disrespected them in any regard. But I think in terms of making a consistent and good movie, I think they might have played too far into that one aspect of the film.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Overall, pretty good movie. I think it was pretty decent, fun watch.
Yeah.
Here's some ratings.
Rating? I gave it like what did I give it? I gave it like 6.5 or 7 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
And 5 is perfectly average.
Yeah.
Six.
More than?
Above average. It's about, I'd say, an above average to good movie.
Yeah, it's like a 6, 6.5, somewhere around there, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a good movie. Like if you're gonna watch it at home, you're not gonna be disappointed. You're really gonna enjoy it.
And for sure, I think people who aren't as critical as us
they're definitely gonna relate to it.
Because it is a good movie.
Not great, but fun enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the way it's made is well done.
Okay.
The way it's filmed, produced, everything, it's well done.
Yeah.
It's more writing things that are a problem.
They wouldn't. During the Q&A, someone asked about the budget. There's just one Bob.
Oh my god, like a Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan.
There's just one Bob Dylan song that plays maybe 17 times during the movie. Like it's a recurring thing. It's the person with ALS. It's her song to ground her and to meditate to. So it plays almost every scene she's in.
It's like a Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
I fucking hate Bob Dylan.
Yeah. So.
And it's the ending credits of the movie.
Of course. And so someone asked, like, someone asked a two-part question. Like, first of all, what was your budget for this movie? Second of all, how much of that budget went to Bob Dylan?
And I think everyone had that
Yeah,
question.
because I even looked at Dante. I was like, if I'm going to ask a question, it's going to be about Bob Dylan's money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was ridiculous.
They really abused that song.
And the answer? Well, they said because they're still in negotiations for pitching the movie. And for
They're still doing business with the movie, so they can't say.
They can't negotiate. They can't discuss budget openly, and they wouldn't even really hint at how much that budget went towards that one song. But they did hint towards how beneficial it is working in Los Angeles, knowing people in the community, and then they also did hint towards how low budget their actual on-set production was.
Okay.
Because it's filmed in Oregon.
Yeah, everything was filmed on set in Oregon. So you can kind of imagine a budget scale, you know. I'm sure a lot of it went to Bob Dylan.
That's pretty funny.
It's hilarious. And that's the thing that they overuse that song. Because, you know, they used it a couple times and I was like, oh, cool, that's her song. And then they used it a couple more times and I was like, I'm good. You can stop.
They used it for the credits.
Yeah. It was too much.
Too much. And I also cannot stand Bob Dylan, so I really did not like it.
I don't mind Bob. It's a good song, I think.
Can't stand it. Makes my ears bleed.
But
I'm not even joking.
Yeah, no, I think genuinely, if this crew continues to make movies,
they'll make some good movies.
They will make very good movies.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it was a good movie.
A lot of potential.
There was a lot of good things about the movie. There was like those shots where it was the computer typing, boom, 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 target detected, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It was fucking sick.
Cinematography.
Yeah.
Working with what they had, phenomenal.
And performances were pretty decent too.
I think the biggest draw. I think what this crew needs most is
a writer. They need a writer.
An editor, a writer. Yeah. Someone to be like, you know, someone who knows, someone who can see the grand picture, pull themselves back and say, hold up,
this doesn't work. This works.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think as these people make more movies, they will gradually get there, and I think they do have a lot of potential.
Yeah. Okay.
So I am genuinely excited to see John Rossman's next feature because I do think he can. You know, it was very well directed.
Yeah, and he was also staying in the violin for the total 2 weeks. He apartment swapped with some person.
Yeah, that was funny. Some digital artist. Designer, graphic designer, thank you. Some graphic designer. And
when he said violin, I was like, ugh. Of course.
Probably got breakfast at St. Peter every day.
Yeah, and I'm like, dude, there's so much more to our city than the fucking Mile End.
Yeah.
And there's so many more great art places than the fucking Mile End.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna be pretty, he looks like he fits. He looks like he fits well into the Mile End though. He was just straight out of Renaissance, dude.
Young dude.
Okay.
Probably our age.
Oh yeah.
Cool. He didn't seem much older than us, I think.
Yeah, no, probably not.
Yeah. And a lot of his crew said it was like kind of their first time making a feature, a big feature, yeah.
And they did well for a first feature. I think they did great.
Absolutely. Yep.
Absolutely. They got some great actors, big actors, like Penelope from Lost, you know?
I think genuinely we were probably being too harsh. I think if we would have...
Yeah, too bad.
Yes, I agree, for sure, I agree. But I think if we would have watched more movies from Fantasia and adjusted our scale to do a festival scale instead or whatever, the movie would have done better.
Okay.
But I think in terms of, you know, the normal scale and the work we're exposed to and our regular criticism, then it's just a slightly above average movie.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna hunt that one out.
No.
You know which one you should hunt down though? We're gonna get here.
We're
finally here.
Our next feature.
At the foretold, foreshadowed feature the kind of highlight of our Fantasia experience. Let me set the stage for you all real quick, right? Let me set the stage for you guys, okay, real quick, right? Me and this boy, they were watching Pandemonium.
We were.
We were watching Pandemonium.
We were.
And talk to him, boy. Talk to him. Man, we're watching Pandemonium. We've already told you this story. I'm talking camera over here. We're watching Pandemonium, and you know, before each movie, they would talk to him. Before each movie, they would play like slides and posters with a description of all the other movies that were playing that day.
There's a whole program of the festival.
There's, you know, a couple movies here and there. And I'm like looking at these, and there was one that's called, a cool poster, I'm not going to say what it's called yet. And the description was very interesting, and the poster looked very cool. It had like kanji, so I assumed it was like some Chinese movie or some Japanese movie or something like that. And the description was, did you pull it up over here?
Yeah, I did.
What is it? They don't have the description I'm looking for. Anyways.
No, they do. High school lovers fight against a hitman organization. Shot in black and white, color, one car away, yada yada. The films are linked by a goldfish.
Well, the description wasn't that.
It was similar.
It was similar, but basically the description said, two high schoolers fight against a hitman organization with a goldfish. And I'm like, and the cover looked really interesting, and I'm like, well, I'm sure you're gonna have like a poster of it somewhere over here, and Nick's gonna put it.
Sure.
and I told you, I was like, oh, yeah, we got some time, we got some tickets left.
Yeah.
Let's go watch this. It was called The Moon, Sky, and You.
Impromptu, dude.
Impromptu.
Damn. This sounds interesting.
We're like, this sounds interesting.
Let's go check it out.
We go watch it. There's like 5 people in the auditorium watching.
Oh yeah. Oh, I didn't know
So
that.
He's exaggerating. It was a low crowd, but
like I'd say under 20 people.
yes.
Under 20 people watching this. The director is one of them. Okay, we're 2 of them, and we're 2 of them.
Yeah.
And you know, we're told it's a student film that the guy made. It was his graduate project, and he's from Hong Kong. And it's a movie from Hong Kong, and that's it. And it's like it was 60 minutes long, something short. And actually, it also started off with a short film, which I guess we'll talk about first.
Yeah, well, you know, we'll get into it.
We'll get into it. So it started off with a short film called Light It Up at 2 A.M.
Yeah.
Which is about, that was also a very good short film. Extremely good short film. I'd say on par with Dark. Very good short film. And it was about these girls that went to like this high school thing where they went to become hairdressers, and they were being abused by like the staff there, so they burned down the school basically. And it was very well done, very good. That's not the important part, right? The important part is this fucking movie. Okay.
The Moon, Sky, and You.
The Moon, Sky, and You. Directed by, what's his name? Hei Yao Lin. Okay. Probably younger than us. Kid from Hong Kong. His first movie, world premiere. No one's ever really watched the movie outside of Fantasia. Even at his graduate ceremony, they didn't watch it, but we're going to get into that after. And fuck me, was it god tier amazing, dude.
It was fucking good.
Yeah.
It was genuinely, and you know, like Dante's, you know, getting into it. But I'm not stopping him because it was fucking good.
It was fucking incredible.
good.
I did not know what to expect watching this.
Yeah.
I just thought we were going to go watch some whatever movie. Turns out my favorite movie of the whole festival.
Yeah, it blew us away.
Blew us away.
And it's gonna blow you guys away
If it ever
in
comes
a
out.
second when we come back from the bridge.
Monolith Film.